Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today bringing you my review for Battlefield Hardline, the latest entry in the Battlefield series which I got to play on the PC. So without further ado, let's hop into this, starting off with the story. Yes, Battlefield does have a story, and before you make rash assumptions, it's actually not half bad. There are those expected cliches that occur, but I actually found myself entertained during the 6 to 8 hour adventure. The story focuses on tracking down various people because of drugs, crime, etc. because, well, it's a cops and criminals game, so I don't know what you expect. Fortunately, the characters surrounding the story are far more interesting and really enhance this experience. It's not a bad story, but if you've watched your share of television, then you've seen this before. While the story itself isn't surprising, the way the missions in the story are designed actually will. Considering you play as a cop in Hardline, you can arrest people, but only if you want. I found myself enjoying the game playing more stealth focused by flashing my badge and cuffing criminals. It's even sweeter because it has a similar system to Star Wars Bounty Hunter, where certain criminals reward these extra points if you manage to arrest them. These points then can be used to equip your character with new weapons and gadgets that you unlock through this progression system, which is interesting. While the stealth system is a nice touch, I felt it was a tad forced. There were times I just dropped the second I got into a gunfight and I felt it wasn't flexible enough to work both ways. Go ahead and insert your obligatory "this reviewer must suck at video games" because he complained about the difficulty comment, but hey, it's true. Other than that, the choice to be kind of a good cop or a bad cop in a sense was pretty neat. Now it's time to shift over to the multiplayer. Normally I do a gameplay segment here, but I figured since this is a first-person shooter that would be redundant, so instead I'll review the game's multiplayer. Hardline's multiplayer doesn't take itself a bit serious, and that's totally okay. It leads to absolutely fun and chaotic matches. The game's slew of new cops and robbers game modes are totally awesome as well. These new modes are like Heist, Blood Money, and Hotwire that just really switch it up. Hotwire is basically a capture and hold type of mode, except the capture points are vehicles, so players are constantly on the move, flying all over the map off jumps and stuffs. It's really cool. Other modes usually revolve around stealing money from one team and bringing it back to your base, or something along those lines. It's also worth mentioning that there are the classic modes such as Conquest from previous Battlefield games. Unfortunately, there are only 9 maps, but since each mode results in dividing the map up into different sections and playing only in certain corners of the map, it didn't feel too repetitive. I also felt that there wasn't a big focus on team play in this entry of Battlefield, and that certain modes forced the running and gunning that Call of Duty, out of all things, is better known for rather than Battlefield. It didn't result in any bad games in particular, it just felt out of place more than anything. In the end, it all works because it feels like there's something for everybody. I personally prefer the slowed down and tactical pace in my Battlefield games, so I'll play Conquest, but you may enjoy the adrenaline pumping thrills through speed and action, so Hotwire may be up your alley more. This feat is not easy for a game to accomplish, so I do have to commend Visceral Games for accomplishing this one. Now it's time for my verdict. Overall, Battlefield Hardline is a worthy entry in the series and has proven a lot of naysayers wrong. It isn't flawless, but it did a lot more correctly than I personally expected. This ranged from the fun mission structure and interesting characters of the campaign to the exhilarating and fresh game modes in its multiplayer. If you're a first-person shooter fan, this one's a complete no-brainer. If you're looking for a good multiplayer fix with friends, Hardline is totally up your alley. That's my review for Battlefield Hardline. If you have any questions down below, go ahead and post them. I'll be sure to answer them. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all.